Well, guys, good morning, everyone. We are down here in Lakeland, Georgia, live this morning. Had a little bit of a delay on the road. I don't think deers down here in Lakeland like me too much, but unfortunately there is one less deer out there on the road. But we're not talking deer this morning. We're talking grits and olive oil, and it's all made right down here in Lakeland, Georgia. I'm here with Kevin Shaw and Gayla of Gaylas Grits. They are the makers of those grits. And guys, before we get into the olive oil, which I'm just very intrigued how you can grow olives here in Georgia instead of Tuscany, Italy, or something like that. I want to talk about these grits because that's what you're famous for. Of course, they're named after you. So what is it about these grits? First, how did you come to make them and start selling them in stores?
Well, my husband Kevin is a farmer, and when we started dating, or some of our friends and out west didn't have good grits, and we just started grinding them and giving them away as Christmas gifts.
I love it.
So it's totally his recipe. You know my name.
Because you can't get much better than Georgia grits, and
Right.
of course Gayla's grits.
Right, exactly.
They're just the best. And Kevin, I know that you kind of get into some of the restaurants here, and I remember you telling me that one year you ran out of grits.
Oh yeah.
And you had just regular same grain, same variety. But they knew they weren't your grits.
Yeah, and the restaurant that we were dealing with, this is when we first started trying to do it on a commercial scale, and they were forewarned that we were probably going to run out of our actual corn that we grow. So the place that we buy our seed, which is not genetically modified, it's just a straight, it's an heirloom seed, and where we buy our seed, we bought some seed from them and ground it for our grits, and the flavor was totally different from the corn that was grown in the Midwest as opposed to the corn that we grow here in Lakeland, which is actually right on our family farm where we live.
I love it.
So I think that definitely has a lot to do with the flavor of the grits, is just the fact of where it's grown. Similar to the Vidalia onion, I guess.
It's just something about this Georgia soil. But now I want to talk about the olive oil, because when I learned you can grow olives and make olive oil right here in Georgia, how in the world?
We don't know. Keep your fingers crossed, right?
Seriously, but they're all grown right here. Is it out in the backyard?
Well, it's about a mile from the backyard.
Okay.
But yeah, we have about 50 acres of trees from 5 years, starting their 5th year of growth to we just planted some more last year, and we've planted probably another 175 acres for other people, is from Hawkinsville, Georgia, over to Americus, and then down into Live Oak, Florida, and actually even have some trees down in Lakeland, Florida. Not Lakeland, Georgia, but Lakeland, Florida. And, the jury's still out on the Lakeland, Florida deal as far as having enough chill hours to actually.
But here in Lakeland, Georgia, it's good to go.
Oh, yeah. We're actually, this year, we are poised for a huge crop. We've had a nice mild winter, and if we don't have a really, really, really crazy cold spell between now and probably the end of March, we'll be set for a really big crop.
Great. Well, they sell Georgia olive oil right here and Gayla's grits right here in the store. I think we might be cooking up some of those grits here in a little bit, or at least talking a bit more about them, and of course the olive oil. We are live down here in Lakeland. Chris, on over to you. All right, well, good morning, everyone. We are back down here in Lakeland, Georgia, cooking up some breakfast. Of course, Valentine's Day is in about a week, so maybe you can cook your honey some breakfast in bed. What's better than grits in the morning? Nice little healthy option. But, Gayla, you have a very special recipe for your grits.
Yes, we do, and Kevin came up with this recipe. We'll have to let him tell you how one night.
I like that, but I mean, of course, you got to get the cheese in there. Nothing better than cheese grits. I'm assuming some butter.
Yeah.
But you guys throw in some sour cream too.
Yeah,
yes.
A little bit of sour cream. We actually have, believe it or not, I did a little different recipe because this is our second time around on this deal. And so I wanted you to try something different. So today we actually did this with a little sour cream and a little Gouda cheese instead of mozzarella. But the mozzarella, the mozzarella is the signature Gayla's Grits recipe.
Okay.
But they mix well with everything. I mean, there's 1,000 different ways to make them. But there's a little story behind the recipe that's there now, and we were my cousin Jason and I were living together, and Gayla and I just started dating, and we were hanging out one night, and then we were absolutely starving, all of us, and it was midnight. We look in the refrigerator, there's really nothing
Not a whole lot left.
Put a bag of grits in the freezer, actually, and there was some old sour cream, and there was some mozzarella cheese that might have had a little mold on it.
But that's what it was.
Yeah, and that's how it happened. I mean, we threw it together, and it was like, man, this is fantastic.
Now, were they Gaylas Grits or just any old thing of grits?
Well, these
and
were
you
grits
said
that we were grinding, so they were really Gaylas Grits.
But that's when the name came about that night, when we had extreme hunger set in.
Probably 1997, I guess.
That's
How fun!
Yeah.
Little mistake almost.
Yeah.
Right.
Good thing you didn't go grocery shopping. But let's talk about let's talk about these grits, because I know, of course, you got the basic grits for breakfast. Maybe throw in some sausage or something like that. Of course, shrimp and grits has become very popular. But I've heard you can even make things like clam chowder with grits to thicken them up.
Yeah, well, Dave, with Dave Snyder over at Halyards, who has actually been a big ally of ours with the oil and the grits. We've been really fortunate to have him on our side. He uses the grits a lot of times for his thickening agent.
Nice.
And the first time I ever tasted was the same day the first time that you tasted of it. It was fantastic.
Guys, if you don't remember that morning on Good Day, oh my goodness, best was the clam chowder I've ever had. Before we get trying these grits, I got a little story about the olive oil, because very similar to your story, how you came up with your grits recipe. Last week, I was cooking some brownies, realized I ran out of vegetable oil. So I said, I got some Georgia olive oil, let's try if it'll work in the brownies. No, it did not work in the brownies. Didn't have as good of luck as you guys did, but coming up here on Good Day, we are going to taste these grits with a little bit different recipe. Of course, you can change them up to however you like. Again, maybe make them for your honey for next Valentine's Day, breakfast in bed. But of course, come on down here, get some grits, get some Georgia olive oil. Again, we're going to be tasting them up here in just a few minutes. Back to you guys in the studio. Well, good morning, everyone. We've woken the whole Shaw family up. We're coming out here eating some breakfast with the Shaw family. Gayla, go ahead. Who do we have here? These beautiful young children.
We have Bella Shaw, and she's 7 in first grade. Then we have Campbell Shaw, and she's in pre-K, and she's 5. And Smith is 9, going on 10, and she's in 4th grade.
And a handsome gentleman there on the left.
Yes, the man of the family. And he is 7, and his name is Swin.
Well, guys, I think you have a very special hello to say to somebody who woke up early to see you guys on TV.
Who do you want to say hey to?
Hey, Mimi. Well, Mimi, thank you so much for waking up early. We got breakfast for these guys. These are the grits made with Gouda cheese, correct?
Yes, they are made with Gouda this morning.
All right, guys, go ahead, dig in, enjoy your breakfast. I want to find out how they taste. All right, Smith, you got the first bite. How are they?
Good.
So good. Is grits your favorite food to eat for breakfast?
Yes.
I love it. And grits are actually pretty healthy for kids to eat
They
for
are.
breakfast.
It's a great, complex carbohydrate that keeps them going there all day. It's a good one.
I love it. Well,
Healthy, hearty breakfast.
And these kids are just clearly gobbling them up. How can people get some of your grits and, of course, the olive oil?
You can go to our website at www.gaylasgrits.com, or you can go to orders at georgiaolivefarms.com. And locally, Tommy Max sells them in Albany,
and Carol's Meat.
And Carol's Meats.
All over the place.
Right around your area.
Are open here seasonally, correct?
Yes, and Go is open seasonally for sure. And we'll be open the 13th and 14th of Valentine's.
And that Go is for grits and olive oil. I love it. They got this nice little stop sign that says, well, go. Guys, how are they?
How are they?
Good. So good. Do you guys like the Gouda cheese with them?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's get some olive oil for breakfast, too. Can't get a much better breakfast than that. We are down here in Lakeland, Georgia. But guys, I think I'm going to need to eat some of these grits for my breakfast. I'll be back there in the studio coming up here in just a few minutes. But it's just been a great morning down here in Lakeland. We'll be back with more Good Day.